All right, everyone. Rod Rosenstein says that he might stay on indefinitely at the DOJ. Like, yeah, I was gonna leave, but I'm gonna hang around a little bit while longer. Some people are saying, well, that's because they want to keep the witch hunt going. The Mueller probe sort of bullshit. I'm not so sure of that. I think that he wants to stay on there because he's afraid of being prosecuted because he obviously signed off on a FISA warrant either without reading it or knowing what was in it as per an investigation that's collapsing and going to go nowhere. Think about you're Rod Rosenstein right now, okay? You're Deputy AG. You were the one that signed off on this warrant. In congressional testimony under oath, you tell Congress you cannot recall whether you read the FISA warrant before you signed it. The problem is that if the Mueller probe ended today, and I don't expect it to do anything to Trump, Rosenstein would be, potentially fucked anyway. The one thing that could potentially protect him from being fired, losing his pension, maybe even investigation of his character, basically a witch hunt that goes after him in retribution. The only thing that would save him is if he's got that position. It doesn't make any sense for him to leave the position, and if the opposite is true, if it is just a witch hunt, there's no reason for him to leave because he can shield the investigation in perpetuity. He's like, well, in a couple of years, Trump's gone, whatever. I still think that they assume that he's not going to win re-election. I think that they're doing everything in their power to make that the case, too. The literal deep state, the intel agencies, and so forth. Bureaucrats don't like someone that wants to fire bureaucrats. Well, the FBI and all these other groups are bureaucratic in nature. Just executive oversight aside, basically it's a bunch of people acting with more or less full autonomy. We've created a government within a government that arguably has more power than the legislative system. That's fundamentally the problem. That would be the more coherent way to say deep state that Trump didn't think of because he'd prefer to encapsulate it in 2 words because it's easier for lower information on individuals, therefore to make it a meme. But it's still true. And I wish he would come out and hammer at that a little bit more, actually, to tell the truth. But Rosenstein's like a goofy man. I have to believe, again, based on his testimony, he either lied straight up to Congress, or he is so delinquent in his duties, he signed off on a FISA warrant on an active presidential investigation based on the Steele dossier. And by the way, it was pointed out to me that actually the initial claim that Jeb Bush's campaign had been involved wasn't actually true. It was Clinton's people all along, and that the dossier gets constructed. They're the ones that bought it up. So it wasn't like they just got op research from a Republican campaign that had collapsed. Although the story made sense, it did. I mean, it would make perfect sense that the Jebs and the Clintons would be in cahoots because they obviously were during the election. So I just sort of accepted that apparent fake news on its head. It doesn't really matter, but the Steele dossier is not real, and it was used to construct this monstrosity. And Rosenstein either just went along with it passively because of a lack of oversight. Brazil mode, I guess, which is Donna Brazil's fine. Have you ever seen the movie Brazil? You should definitely watch it. It's dystopian in nature and really weird. It's sort of like Animal Farm or 1984, any of these other good works throughout time, or a little bit Blade Runner-esque as well, which is get some of you going. This is crazy talk. So the Deputy AG signed something without reading it. Oh, too bad it involves someone who won. See, what they were hoping for was that he wouldn't win. It is an insurance policy, in other words. And Rosenstein's insurance policy is, hey, I'm in the DOJ. If Trump fires me, it might start a civil war and shit. So, I can get off scot-free. There's no reason for me to leave. Whether or not the Mueller report pans out or not, if the Mueller report comes out and clears Trump, because there are so many people in the country that think he's tyrannical, evil, orange Hitler, he probably won't fire Rosenstein anyway. Once that's gone, he doesn't need to anyway. At that point, he probably wins re-election. But the thing is, it's no longer clear the Mueller probe is going to end before the next election. It's going to keep, being a cloud over everybody's head. It's going to be exploited by, the Democratic Party. And I mean, more power to them. They should exploit it. It's the only platform that they've been able to nail together so far. Well, Gillibrand comes out, she invokes Franken again, of all things, which was crazy. She gets her shit shoved in by her own fans. She keeps getting ratioed. It's like the one person who is perhaps uniquely the most viable based on appearance and speaking skills and career is being totally shafted by people who are like partisan leftists. The other one, Julian Castro, tries to hit Bernie Sanders, gets totally shoved in as well. Goofy stuff going on within the Democratic Party, trust me. But the Democrats haven't had a platform now for quite some time. What was Hillary Clinton's platform? Hey, I got a vagina, dude. Vote for me. Hey, but I've got a D after my name. my opponent is Hitler. He, like, rapes people and stuff. That's basically what they delved into during the election. It doesn't matter if Rosenstein leaves. Let him keep his job. Who fucking cares? He can't do anything after the Mueller probe ends. And if it's not going to end, then I guess we understand why he's in the DOJ still. Oh shit, yeah, report's already compiled. We found nothing. We failed to exonerate ourselves of a laundry list of wrongdoing and lack of oversight from starting this in the first place. We look totally terrible and screwy, and if I, leave, I might get prosecuted. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay deputy head of the DOJ. Why not? What's in it for him for leaving? Like, unless he flees to China or something like that. That's about all. Peace out.